Stress is something that every one of us is familiar with. We get stressed out when things do not happen our way, or when we get caught off guard by unwelcome circumstances. It could be a diagnosis from the doctor, an exam or a test, a loss of a job, a financial setback, a broken relationship, and the list could go on of our stressors. And these stressors, they disrupt our life and often influence on how we feel and how we behave. Psychologists define stress as the psychological and physiological response to internal or external stressors. Stress comes in a form of sweating, dry mouth, palpitations, shortness of breath, fidgeting, accelerated speech, intensified negative emotions. Joan Borisenko, licensed psychologist, says, every day brings a choice to practice stress or to practice peace. Jesus in Matthew 6 verse 34 says similarly, so do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring worries on its own. Today's trouble is enough for today. So if you don't have enough troubles for today, then continue to be stressed out about tomorrow. The severe stress manifests by the general adaptation syndrome, which affects our mental and physical health. This syndrome has 3 stages: alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. The first is alarm stage, which involves the shock phase and the counter shock phase, where a defense reaction, the fight or flight, is triggered. In this stage, the heart rate, the blood pressure, or sweating increases, while digestive activity decreases. The second stage is the resistance stage, is where the stabilization at the increased physiological levels happens, including the permanent organ changes. The third one, exhaustion stage, because of prolonged stress, it manifests by sleeping issues, fatigue, loss of concentration, irritability, crying spells, trembling, restlessness, anxiety attacks, depressed mood. Isaiah 21 verse 15 says, for they have fled from the sword, from the drawn sword, from the bent bow, and from the stress of battle. We don't flee from the swords or bows, but similarly to Isaiah, we have the psychological suffering and stress to various battles. So what do we do when we face the battles? And how can we be not stressed out? And no, this is not eating desserts to make ourselves feel better. Even the word stress, if read backwards, is desserts. But what we can do is, firstly, we should start to adopt a healthier lifestyle, which means eating properly, drinking water, exercising regularly, going to sleep earlier to get enough sleep. 1 Corinthians 6 verse 19 says, or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, which you have from God, and that you are not on your own? So are we taking care of God's temple? Secondly, ask yourself, will this stressor matter a year from now, 5 years from now? If not, then consciously focus on something else. William James, an American philosopher, historian, and psychologist of the 19th century, said, the greatest weapons against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. And Paul in Hebrews 3 verse 1 says similarly, therefore, holy brothers and sisters who share in the heavenly calling, fix your thoughts on Jesus, whom we acknowledge as our apostle and high priest. Thirdly, let's involve God, because He does not want you to be stressed out. Instead, He is asking every one of us to lean on Him. So I will say Moses' words that he said to the Israelites. I'll say these words over you. Exodus 14 verse 4. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to keep still. And I believe that's where our problem is. We not only don't want to be still, but we want to fight our own battles instead of giving those battles to God. Fourthly, find the Bible verses that matches our difficult or painful situation. And once you find that verse, keep on reading and rereading it out loud, focusing on every word over and over and over until you start to feel better and you feel that stress and those negative emotions leaving you. One of them maybe could be Psalm 55 verse 22. It says, cast your cares on the Lord and He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. Only when we cast our cares on the Lord, He will sustain us and will be able to face tomorrow and face all the fears, and stress will have no place in our lives. And next week, I'll be recording a prayer regarding stress.